I think that we all are on the same page when it comes to understanding consequences. Like our choices and actions, they have consequences. Everybody kind of understands that. Sometimes there's good consequences. Sometimes there's not so good consequences. We kind of learned this as a kid growing up one way or another. We learned that when we lie, what happens? Okay, nobody's learned the thing about lying yet. I learned in my home that you either got a timeout, you lost something, you got a SWAT, whatever it might have been, but we learned that lying was not good, and when we lied, there were consequences that came with that. We learn over the course of a lifetime that spending money has consequences, sometimes good, sometimes bad, but ultimately what we learn when we spend money, the consequence is that we have less money. We learn that choosing to go to bed late means that probably the next day you're going to be a little bit tired. We learned that maybe saying bad words equals soap in the mouth. Did anybody experience that? Okay. Maybe you understand that missing curfew, getting home after 10 p.m. or whatever it is, means that you lose the keys to the car for a little bit. You learn things as you get older as well. It's just not as you are a kid, but as you get older, you learn that some things never change, and your choices and your actions still have consequences. They just look a little bit different as you get older. Not hitting the deadline at work means that you're going to be on that 90-day performance plan. It means that trying to wake up and play a sport first thing in the morning without stretching, taking a Tylenol, and having a lot of water is going to lead to a day of soreness and pain, maybe even a couple days. You understand that painting your home, looking up and trying to get that one little spot on the ceiling means that you're going to be in bed for the next 4 days. This never changes. You still realize that Taco Bell late at night is not going to end well, and it's not a choice that you should ever make. So for me, I've shared over the years some of my bad choices and things that I've done that weren't always the smartest. One thing I've been really open and honest about is that I was not the greatest student. Any other fellow not so great students, or maybe didn't apply yourself, as my mom would like to say, I wasn't the greatest. And if I'm being honest, the truth is I really just like doing other things more. Right? Like I had a lot of other things that I preferred to do rather than my homework. And so if you're a student today and you're listening to this, understand that this is not the example. Don't look at me as the example, because I did everything but homework. When I got to high school, though, I realized that trying to do all the other things and avoiding my homework got a whole lot harder. It got really hard. And it came to a head my sophomore year. I was playing basketball. I loved playing basketball. Anybody else love playing basketball? I love basketball. I still play today. And back then, to be on the team, it meant that I had to be one of 20 guys in our school, and I had to beat out the freshman team anyways, 160 other guys, right? So I made the team, I got on the team, and I like to think I was a key player on the team. There was one game in particular, I had a great game. I was the leading scorer and the leading rebounder on the team pretty frequently. One game I had 42 points and 17 boards. I still love to talk about that. It just makes me feel so good. I played all 5 positions at times. So there were games when I'd start at center and end up playing point guard. I was the emotional leader. There was one game in particular against Naperville North, our arch rival, where we were down by 25 points, and I was slapping the floor, getting everybody all excited. I was that kind of guy. I loved basketball. And I remember it was practice. We were halfway through the season or so, and Coach Watson, also a math teacher at the school, pulled me aside and was like, "Hey, how are your grades looking?" And I was like, "Oh, they're doing all right." And he's like, "No, they're not." And it's one of those yeah, I should have seen that coming. He really set me up. Why even ask? He already knew clearly that my grades weren't so good. And he's like, "Hey, you got a couple D's, and that's not acceptable. You're academically ineligible for the time being." And I was like, whoa. That's a consequence for my really poor decisions, my inaction when it came to doing homework. And honestly, what that meant is I had a lot of work to do off the court at home to get caught up. I had to ask for extra grace from these teachers to get my grades back in line so that I could play. I ended up missing 2 weeks, which was the equivalent of 3 games. And then after getting my grades up, I thought I'll just hop back into my starting position. But no, Coach Watson did not give me back that starting spot right away. I had to earn it back. The consequence for having poor grades wasn't just missing games, but it extended beyond that. And I realized really quickly and really the hard way to learn this lesson that I failed. I failed my coach. I failed my team and the other guys on the team with me. Failed my parents for sure. Failed myself in a lot of ways, and I had to face the consequences for the choices I had made that got me to that spot. Our choices and our actions, they always come with consequences. And I think Peter knows this in Scripture. I think most of the people in Scripture understand this. I think we all understand this. And so Peter, after Jesus is now risen and alive, he's kind of living in this space of I really screwed things up. And because I screwed things up, I'm confident there will be consequences that follow. Now, you probably remember what the situation was with Peter. A couple days before Jesus was risen, before he was arrested, the night he was betrayed, they're sitting around this table, Jesus and his companions, the disciples and some others that were close to him. They're sitting around the table. They have this meal together. Jesus washes their feet. It's this really important moment. And then Jesus says, hey, before the night ends, before the crow makes its noise, what's a crow do? Whatever. Before the crow does its thing, you're going to deny me 3 times. Peter. Now, knowing Peter, it's not written down in John, but knowing Peter, he's like, nah, I'm with you, right? He'd already kind of said, I'm with you to the end. He said that before, and then Jesus is like, no, you ain't, bro. In fact, it's going to go down like this. And so Peter gets to this moment. He's recognized in the crowd as Jesus is on trial, as he's being arrested. And they're like, hey, that's him. He was one of the guys that was with Jesus. He's been with him since the beginning. And Peter says, no, I don't even know that guy. Nah, I don't know him. Not once, not twice, 3 times, Peter says, I don't know him. Exactly how Jesus predicted it would happen. So I imagine now that Jesus is back, now that Jesus is alive and walking among the people again, Peter's feeling some things. I'm sure he's got excitement. Who wouldn't be excited? The guy, he's alive. There's some excitement there. There's some joy. There's this deep conviction of man, he really must be who he said he was because he's done all the things that he said he was going to do. But at the same time as having this joy, this excitement, and maybe the oh wow, we got to tell everybody about it. There's maybe a little bit of guilt and shame that's kind of bubbling up, and he's feeling that. Maybe he feels a little bit like a failure. I said I wasn't going to do that. I said I wasn't going to let him down. I said I was with him to the end, and shoot, I messed this up. We don't get much in terms of Peter's interactions with Jesus after Jesus has risen. John tells us there's only three brief appearances before the end of the book. One of those appearances is a breakfast, and it leads to this life-changing conversation between Jesus and Peter. This is in chapter 21, beginning in verse 15, where it says, "When they had finished eating, Jesus said to Simon Peter, 'Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these?'" And I've just got to ask, what is these? Do you love me more than these? I mean, it's potentially the other people in the room. Do you love me more than everyone else that's here in this room, Peter? Maybe it's all the other disciples and the other followers as a whole. Do you love me more than everyone else that's a follower? In the last couple of weeks, I saw a lady that actually documented and made a little short of her husband. And she was taking pictures with her husband. And whenever they go on a date, she'd take a picture. And he always was just real a guy's guy. Just, yay, I'm excited for this date. Then she compared it to when he had a large catch of fish. And he was smiling and holding out this fish. Maybe Peter is being asked, do you love me, Peter, more than all these fish you just caught? I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is, but Jesus says, do you love me more than these? Peter says back, yes, Lord. You know that I love you. It's interesting here. Jesus is asking, do you love me sacrificially? That's the way he's using the word love here. Peter is saying, yeah, Lord, I have affection for you. I enjoy your company. I like being around you. They're having a confusing conversation in this moment. And so Jesus says then, feed my lambs. Okay. Feed my lambs. Do you love me? Yes. Okay, feed my lambs. If you were to go and look up some of the Greek words behind feed my lambs, you would eventually come to understand that when Jesus says feed my lambs, he's saying nourish, give nourishment to new believers. Give nourishment to those who are just now coming to understand who I am, who are just now coming to believe in me. Do you love me? Yes, you know that I love you. Feed my lambs, give nourishment to the new believers. And again, verse 16, Jesus says, Simon, son of John, do you love me? He answers, yes, Lord, you know that I love you. Okay. Again, Jesus is saying, hey, do you love me to that sacrificial, you'll do anything for me kind of level? And Peter's responding back saying I like you, pal. They're not on the same page yet. Simon, do you love me? Yes, Lord, you know that I love you. And so Jesus says now, take care of my sheep. Take care of my sheep. So in my mind, the lambs have now grown up and they're sheep. And so what we understand, if we look into the Greek kind of meaning behind take care of my sheep, we would understand that it's take care of the believers. These aren't the new believers that you're giving nourishment to anymore, but it's more of a pastoral care for the fellow believers, those that are around you. Care for them. Take care of my sheep. It's interesting because earlier in the book of John, Jesus refers to his followers as sheep, saying, the sheep will know my voice. Take care of my sheep. The third time, he said to him, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Now this time we read here, this is interesting. It doesn't say this after the second time, but the third time, Peter was hurt because Jesus asked him a third time. Well, yeah, of course. Who isn't going to be frustrated when you're asked a third time, back to back to back? Why do you keep asking me? I've already answered it. And he says again, do you love me? Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you, Peter says. It's interesting here, though. Do you love me Jesus doesn't ask this the same way that he's asked it the first two times. The first two times it was, are you willing to give it all for me? And remember, Peter's response was, yeah, I like you. Yeah, we can hang out. This is cool. Now Jesus is saying, do you like me? The Greek word here is phileo. Do you love me? And Peter responds with the same way, the same word, phileo type of love, this third time. Jesus met Peter where he was. Peter was still feeling all the things, guilt and shame, and feeling like a failure maybe. And so he was maybe unwilling to say, like, I've already failed at that once. I don't know that I can make that kind of a commitment here. Jesus comes to Peter and says, like, hey, let's get on the same page. Do you love me? And Peter says, Lord, you know all things, and you know that I love you. When he says you know all things, he's not saying like, you know all the things in general. He's being very specific here, and he's saying, you know what's inside of me. You know how my heart feels about you. You know the posture of my heart, Lord. And because you know that I love you, Lord. And so then Jesus says, feed my sheep. It's a combination of his first answer and his second answer. Feed my lambs, take care of my sheep. And now he says, feed my sheep. Give nourishment. Give nourishment to those who love me. He's giving him a mission. He's giving him a purpose. He's giving him direction. This is all about restoration. If Peter denied knowing Jesus 3 different times, and here Jesus is now saying, do you love me 3 different times? It's this restoration process. He's asking Peter, do you love me? Like, are we together? Are you with me? And then go. Feed my sheep. And then he continues, very truly, I tell you, when you were younger, you dressed yourself and went where you wanted. But when you are old, you will stretch out your hands and someone else will dress you and lead you where you do not want to go. And Jesus said this to indicate the kind of death by which Peter would glorify God. And then he said to him, follow me. Follow me. Peter understood very little at this point in time, but he understood that his life from here on out would be a sacrifice. Follow me. Jesus is asking Peter to follow him, to sacrifice, to love him with everything he's got. And Peter is in this moment of tension, of sorting out, like, am I willing to do that? That costs quite a bit. Can I make that level of commitment? Let me pull up a couple chairs here. Any volunteers? I didn't think so. That was just, kind of joking. I didn't expect anybody would. This is what C.S. Lewis calls the baptize imagination. Anybody familiar with baptize imagination? You got 2 chairs. In this chair, you got Jesus. Jesus is sitting in this chair, looking across at Peter. Peter's not even in his chair. Peter's life is so screwed up. It's broken. It's flipped upside down. He feels shame. He feels guilt. He feels failure. Do you love me, Peter? I don't know if I can, because this is the picture of my life right now. I don't know if I love you on that level, Lord. It's okay. feed my lambs. The restoration process, it's beginning. Feed my lambs. And Peter, all of a sudden, he starts to feel this chair kind of go right. And he's like, all right. He's sitting there. Jesus, Peter, do you love me? And he's like, well, I'm closer to you. I don't know if I love you the way that you're asking me to. I don't know if I can commit to that. Take care of my sheep. Okay. Next time, Jesus moves closer to Peter. Jesus is here. Hey, Peter. Peter, do you love me? Well, I recognize that you're really close right now. I just don't know if I can look you in the face because I feel some stuff. Jesus comes right here in front of Peter. I'll meet you where you are. He's going to speak life into Peter. He's going to give purpose to Peter. He's going to pour into Peter. He's going to send him out. You see, Christ restores the least. And in this moment, Peter felt like he was the least. He was a failure. His life was upside down. He'd done everything wrong, or so he'd felt. Jesus met him where he was, looks him in the face and says, feed my sheep, take care of my lambs. Give nourishment to the new believers. Provide pastoral care for those that love me. Christ restores the least and sends them to reach the lost. Christ restores the least and sends them to reach the lost. He restored Peter the least and sent him out to restore the lost being the people that are over here in their broken down chairs, looking across the space, hearing Jesus say, do you love me? And they're over here saying, like, no, look at my life. Look at my life. Think about your life. Is your chair upside down this morning? Are you feeling broken? Are you feeling like a failure? Are you feeling shame and guilt? Are you feeling unlovable? Jesus in this chair over here, he says, hey, just come a little closer. Okay. Do you love me, Mike? I like you. I like the idea of being with you. It feels comfortable to be in your word each morning. It feels good to be in church with my family. It feels good to serve others. But the level of sacrifice that you're asking from me, I don't know that I can commit to. Are you having that conversation this morning? Is Jesus like right here? Uh-oh. Is Jesus right here? Talking to you? Do you love me? And you're like, stop talking to me. I like it my way. I want to do it my way. I like being in proximity to you, but I don't want this personal thing yet. Like I got all my things. I got my schedule, my plans, my money, my friends, my hobbies, my habits, my trajectory for work. Do you love me? Are you willing to sacrifice? Jesus realizes, though, that it's really difficult for us to turn and face him. And so he meets us where we are, and he looks us in the face, and he calls something better out of us. He restores the least. He restores Mike, who's over there broken, filled with shame, feeling like a failure, ready to give up. He draws me close. He sits in front of me and he looks me in the face and says, I love you. Do you love me? This morning, you might be in this chair, sitting here, thinking, I don't know where I'm at with God. I'll tell you where he is. He's sitting there saying, I love you. Do you love me? Do you love me? Yes, it's going to be a life of sacrifice. Yes, it's going to be a life that is hard. Yes, it might end up with you being crucified upside down on a cross, Peter, but it is so worth it. The best is yet to come when you're with me. This morning, I really do believe that God's got some stuff for us. That he's got things in the journey ahead for you and ahead for me. But it requires us to say yes. It requires us to respond, I love you, Lord. You know all things. You know the posture of my heart. It's open to you. Would you start to change it more deeply and profoundly? This morning, as we wrap up, there's some of us in this room that need to be restored. Let me remind you that Christ restores you the least. And he wants to send you to reach the lost. He wants to send you on mission. He wants to send you to reach your family. He wants to send you to reach your neighbor. He wants to send you to reach your coworkers and your classmates, your long-lost friends, the people you don't yet know. He wants to send you. And it begins with you saying, I love you, Lord. I love you. This morning, as we wrap up and pray together, I think there's some of us, or maybe all of us, that are in a chair realizing we need to say, I love you, Lord. Maybe it's a recommitment. Lord, I do love you. And I don't just want to be in proximity with you. I want to look you in the face. I want to live a life of sacrifice, whatever that looks like. For others of us, it's that first time saying, you know what, I've been over there and he's drawn me close and he's looking me in the face, and I sense that here today. Lord, I love you, and I'm up for whatever it is that you have before me, because I go with you. I go with you. You know, later this summer, in just about 2 months actually, we're celebrating baptisms with 1128, Lake Point, Revive, Kingdom Church, like our family of churches. There's hundreds of people across Milwaukee that we consider our family of churches. And this week, we went to Hart Park, Rotary Pavilion, where that event will be taking place. And we prayed over that space, and we prayed for the people that would be saying yes to that next step. Baptism isn't a thing that saves you. It's a symbol of saying, yes, Lord, I love you. I'd love for you to step into that symbolic moment in a few months. I'd love for you today to say, yes, Lord, I love you, and to follow up and proclaim that boldly and loudly on a platform in Wauwatosa. But for right now, let's have a moment of reflection. A moment with God, face to face, being restored and being sent out. Take that moment now, and then I'll close this out in prayer. Jesus Christ, the one who is alive and well, who's risen from the dead, who still moves today. We love you. Thank you for meeting us where we are today. Thank you for calling us into something more. Thank you for restoring us, from moving us from this place of brokenness and failure and guilt and shame into a relationship with you. Lord God, would we say yes to a lifetime of following you? Would we say yes to a depth of love that's sacrificial, not just convenient? And God, would that be the kind of relationship that changes us, moves in our friends and family, stirs up the hearts of our coworkers and our classmates, changes our communities, and ultimately impacts the world. Give me Jesus. It's more than anything we want, and it's all we'll ever need. We love you, Lord.